welcome to our Insightfulbabes podcast. My name is Diana.
And I am Maria.
And we are your hosts. We have created a brand new community for all of the hustlers, the dreamers, the outsiders, the visionaries out there. Coming from a Hispanic traditional beliefs, we've decided to share our entrepreneurship journey, ups and downs, and inspire, empower, and help others who are not being themselves because of fear or because of traditional beliefs.
Alrighty, so we are back to Insightfulbabes. It's been a while, and I am just so glad that we are already in a new month.
Yes.
Because January was crazy, wasn't it?
It was. It felt like it went on forever.
It did. I was ready for it to be done. Ya no, pasó demasiado. I couldn't keep up with the news, and it was just a lot going on, and I don't know, I'm glad that overall we survived.
Exactly.
Sobrevivimos.
Aquí estamos.
Ustedes sobrevivieron enero. Let us know, because it was tough.
I feel like everybody felt like that, right? Because I kept seeing memes about January, the days are getting super long. It was so bad.
Yeah, todos bien emocionados, ¿no? En el principio de enero.
Yeah, same.
Yes, let's do this. Next thing you know, it's crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
And you're what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Como decían también, January was a trial run. I'm ready to start 2020 February.
It was crazy, but okay, yeah, lo pasado, ¿no?
Yeah. Ya lo pasado.
José. No, pero ya dejamos todo en el pasado, and because we're still kind of fresh on the whole, it's a new year, 2020, new goals, new dreams, new relationships, new everything, no? So yeah, we're still on that side of the whole new year thing. We want to go ahead and just share how we ended up having these weird connections and how we ended up focusing on what we needed to focus on and how we did that. And we're going to explain how you can go ahead and focus on what you want and achieve the right connections that you need.
Yeah, well, I guess just basically, I don't know why I keep saying this word, just being aligned with what you want in your life.
Yeah.
That's when you'll receive all the connections that you want. For example, if you're we're just talking about this right now, we're saying be true to yourself and know who you really are and be your authentic self and just be yourself, and then everything else is just gonna come your way.
Yeah. So if you had a very crazy January and it was just tough and it was confusing, or maybe it was a good month, I don't know, whatever it was. For us, it was crazy. It was a very random, confusing, just kind of overall crazy.
Yes.
We had to remain focused on what we wanted. And how did we do that, Diana? How did we remain focused on what we had to remain focused on? How were we able to still, not manifest? We're also going to be talking about manifestation because it's huge right now, with our generation, the whole I manifested this,
Yeah.
But how were we able to make the connections that we did this past month with having a bunch of crazy stuff happening around us? So what was some of the things that we did?
Yeah, I feel basically when God wants you to do something, he'll give you the opportunity to do it. Mm-hmm. So I feel even if you're going through a hard time, we weren't going through a hard time, but it was a crazy month. Yeah. So even the whole month that we went through and everything was just crazy in the world. I feel we still had those connections, and God was giving us those connections because that's what he wanted us to do. Kind of just disappear, not pay attention to things that were going bad. So I feel that's how we were able to stay focused, just really know what we wanted and what we wanted to do in the world and what we wanted to do here with Insightfulbabes and what God wanted us to do, not just us, I feel we manifested a lot of these things, but because it was something that God wanted for us, he wanted us to do that, the universe was aligned with us, however you guys want to call it, It was basically we were aligned with everything that was happening, and it felt like it was really chaotic, but at the same time it felt like we were really aligned.
Yeah, and a lot of people wonder, how can I get what I want? How can I do what I need to do? Or I want this, I want that, but how can I get it? And I think we discovered how it's possible this last month. We just remained focused, and we went ahead and just followed our passion. We all have a purpose. We all have a different purpose in our lives, and God really uses every person differently. Like, we all have a different story. So that is why we also wanted to empower others to share their story, because we all have a very unique story. We're all very different. And that's what makes us unique. And last month, like we said, it was very crazy. But we still, like Diana and I, remained focused on what we already knew that we wanted to do. And it feels right, like I know there's a lot of people who don't even know what their purpose is, and they feel lost. I know that was me a few years ago. Like, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do now? That was me a few years ago. But honestly, you just have to follow your passion. If you're already doing like what your passion is, that's your purpose. There's no such thing as to look for your purpose, and find your passion is really much inside of you. You already know what you like to do. Do you feel good about helping others? Well, hello, that's your purpose. You're supposed to do something where you can help others. Or maybe your passion is to cook. You love cooking. Like, whenever you're cooking, that's like when your soul is on fire, and you just, like, not literally, right? Con la comida.
Not the kitchen.
Oye, todo quemado ahí, ¿no?
Yes.
You guys get me, though. Like,
that was so cute.
You just feel like super happy and fulfilled because that's what you like to do. Well, guess what? That is your purpose. You were created to cook and to, we were all created to be happy, and we just make a big deal out of the whole, what's my purpose? We already know our purpose. It's right in you. Like, we're all been carrying our purpose inside of us, and it's just what you like to do. And a lot of people just make a big deal out of it. I know that we did, right, Diana? Like, we were like overthinking, and we just didn't know what we wanted to do, and we're just making a big mess out of everything until finally God decided to bring us together, and say, like, you guys already know what you guys need to do. And here we are, sharing our story, sharing what we learned so far, and it's been good. It's been fulfilling for the both of us, and we've got a lot of new things coming up. So yeah, like, overall, if you want the right connections, if you want to have the things that you want to have, just be aware that you just need to follow your passion, whatever it's right for you.
And I think a lot of like us think that finding your passion or finding like your purpose has to be like this huge thing. Like, I felt like for me, I was like, what is my passion or what is my purpose? Like I know you see other people's like purpose, and some people's purpose are to like someone famous or whatever, like they sing. That's like their talent. They're gonna like grace the world with their talent, like that's what God put him on the earth to do, like to bless us with their talent. And instead of us like being grateful for them showing us their talents, we try to like do the same thing, or we try to like, well, what's mine is not as big as his, but like in reality it's yours. Like, you should always be grateful for your talents and for your purpose. Like, I felt like, well, what is mine? Like, and I would think like, okay, I don't really have like a talent, let's say like I know how to like sing, or I know how to dance, or things like that, but it doesn't like get outside of that box and think like my talent is that I care about people. And that's, I consider that a talent, because I've gotten to know that most people don't like, most people don't care about each other or about other people. Like, so that's my talent. And I truly genuinely care about people, and like I want to see people like be happy and succeed, and like whatever their levels or successes, whatever it is, like I want to see them happy. So caring about people and like helping people and like it could be the smallest thing, like let me bring you coffee in the morning, let me, like, that's for me, it's like what I love doing. Like I love being like, you know, I made this easier for you, like my job is done, like I'm happy with that. And some people are like, that's your talent, like you just kind of like, that's not a big deal, but for me it is, like it's something good.
Nunca faltan los haters.
Yo sé, siempre.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like if you like serving others, that's a big thing, you know, like
Yeah.
that's your purpose. Great. Like I do see that a lot, that a lot of people think that your purpose or your passion should be, you know, like, oh, big talent, like singing, you know, como J-Lo and Shakira. Oh my
Oh, girl.
that was amazing.
That was. And
Yeah.
see, we're supposed to like admire that, you know, and like look at that and be like, that's amazing. Like they have that talent. Like I admire that, and I that's amazing. But if I start comparing myself to that, like I'm gonna be like my hips, trying to move my hips like like
I quedaste.
Ya valí, o sea, ya perdí todo. Pero you're probably gonna have to take me to the ER because I'll just like I'm just kidding. Pero yeah, like it's looking at like people's talents and like being grateful that you're getting, like you're being part of like that, those people, you know, and being able to see everything and enjoying it. But for your talent, like you just have to enjoy yourself as well, because you know a lot of people like no le sale like from nature, you know what I mean, like como a lot of people are always like, oh, how did you think about that, or like how did you even like, this is way easier, or how did you like manage to do this, or that's really helpful, like I would have never thought of doing that. But like to me that came like what do you mean that was so easy, you know? So that's also like a talent that you shouldn't, whatever it is, like you should never put yourself down, whatever talent or whatever purpose you have, because we're all here to help each other out. And I think that's what we forget sometimes. Like
yeah, and I believe talents are skills that always need improvement. Yeah. So if you have a certain talent, you know, certain skill, you're always gonna need to improve them. And that means like practice on them, you know, like always make sure to improve that, because that's how it is, you know, like J-Lo and Shakira, I mean, it took them a while, you know, to get to where they're at right now. And I mean, we see how hard they've been working. We see it, you know, we see the results. I mean, it's amazing. They're both moms, and, you know, for them to be doing everything that they did, it's like, oh my God, I'm in my 20s. I don't know if I can do that. But like you see their dedication, and it's just something to really admire, you know? And just because they do that doesn't mean that we can't, you know? We all can. We just have to be determined to do so. So yeah, like for us, Diana and myself, this January was a lot of focusing on what we already knew that we had to do, and everything that we did was just like really great, because it really led us to like a lot of connections that we were hoping to get, that we were hoping to make, and there's a lot of new friendships that were made. And overall it was great, you know. Yes, it was a very devastating and chaotic month, and you know, like overall we just didn't let that bring us down, because normally that's what, whenever something bad happens, that's what we're supposed to do, you know, like we should just cry and stay in one room and not get out or anything. But no, that's not who we are. That's not Insightful Babes. We don't stay crying. We get up, and even if we have to cry and walking or running or whatever, we're doing what we have to do. Who cares? But we don't just stay stuck, right? So for sure, focus on what you guys want. The year is still barely new, and you still have time to find out who you are, who you really want to be, or who you were made to be. And for sure, God has been really big with us, with Diana and myself. We've been having to focus a lot more on what we wanted, and not in the fact that like what we thought we wanted, but more of what we know now that God wants for us to do. And, you know, if you're like not into like the whole religious God, you know, thing, maybe you're into like the whole universe or whatever it is that you believe in, you know, like just make sure that you focus on a higher self, because that's what's gonna really help you be guided, you know. For us it's God, so you will probably hear us say God a lot because that is who we believe in. But if you believe in the universe, great. We're just sharing what we go through, what we experience. We're sharing our journeys, and God is within our journeys, so we will be sharing a lot about that. But yeah, focus on what you want. Focus on what you like doing. Again, your passion is what you like to do. So make sure you write that down, because it's super important. That's something that really got to me when I was trying to find out what my passion was. Like, if me gusta say, like, what is my passion? I don't know. Whenever somebody asked me, hey Maria, like, what's your passion? I'd freeze up and just be like, I don't know, like, I don't know, singing. I sing in the shower, so I have a good time singing.
I have 2 mixtapes already. I dropped 2 albums.
Maria shower part 2. No, but yeah, like, I know there's a lot of people who still like don't know how to answer that question, right? But it's just very simple, and it's just what you like to do. So what you enjoy doing, and it doesn't have to be, like Diana said, it doesn't have to be like a big thing, like, hi, I can, I don't know, dance, and I can sing, and I can, I don't know, create or invent a new computer. Like, it doesn't have to be that big of a thing. It's just the simplest thing. And if that's what you enjoy doing, that's your passion, and hello, that will be your purpose.
Exactly.
So,
like, don't be so hard on yourself when you're trying to find that too. Like, don't think about it every day as in like it's a duty, like, oh, I have to find what my passion or my purpose is. Like, I have to. No, like, it's gonna come to you. Like, at the right time, it's gonna come to you, and you're gonna just be like, oh, this is what it was all along, and like now I know why I couldn't see it like earlier, you know. So just don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, and we already know that if you're Hispanic, we're all like super dramatic.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
We blame the telenovelas.
Yes.
For sure. Ahí con la grandma and our moms watching the novelas and being so dramatic. Así estamos, ¿no? Así ahora con nuestras propias vidas, like, I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what my purpose is. We get all like dramatic. It is like that. Oh my god, I should be in a novela.
For real.
Insightfulbabes, telenovela.
Oh my gosh, we would have a pretty good telenovela.
Oh my god, yeah, we would. In the future. That's for the future.
Yeah.
Future plans. No.
Future plans.
Yeah, but you know, we're still brand new in 2020. Like, it's a brand new year todavía, even though it felt like forever.
Oh my gosh, it really did.
Yeah. Pero no, like, for me, I would suggest for everybody to just remember how important forgiveness is.
Yeah.
I've heard that there's a lot of people that, you know, like, they're just tired of their past, you know, and it's so easy to just say, okay, pues ya lo pasado, pasado, right? But if you really want to start something new, if you really want to start a new journey, if you really want to start, you know, like being a new you need to make sure that whatever is in the past, you've already forgiven. If you don't forgive, that's always going to follow you, even though you reach whatever goal it is that you were planning to reach. For me, like, that was like a huge thing. When I was still like in high school, like I graduated from high school and then I went to college, that was the time when I was just like, okay, if I really want to find out what I need, you know, God really spoke to me and just reminded me that in order for me to do something new, in order for me to like meet new people and just start a new journey, I needed to forgive whatever was on my past. You know, even if we had those friends who were supposedly apparently friends, but they were really friends. Saben, los high school years, ¿no?
Sí.
Yeah, like even though que te robaron el novio. Yeah, no.
Híjole, oh, I feel it now,
Yeah, no, I ain't forgiving nobody.
Hold on.
No, pues todo eso, like, esos detallitos, like the most craziest little tiny problems, you just have to learn to forgive. Forgive and let go.
Yes.
That's super important. So if you're like already, yeah, like going to the gym and starting your new journey and you still haven't forgiven your past, like anybody from your past, make sure you do that. You know, you don't do it for the people, you do it for yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
Sure, like there's a quote actually about that, right? Like when you hold on to a grudge, it's like you're basically just drinking the poison, like something like that, right? I forgot what the quote is. But yeah, it's like you're just hurting yourself. You're honestly just hurting yourself. And then they say actually that, let's say you did something in your past that you just can't forgive yourself for doing it. Yeah. Let's say every time you think about it, every time you relive it in your mind, because I used to do that. Every time I relive that moment and I'm like thinking about that moment, you feel the same as you felt at that time. So you're just bringing back those feelings and all those memories and everything. You're just hurting yourself. So that's what they say. Like, don't, like, you know, it's hard to let go sometimes, but, and it's not going to be like from one day to another and maybe not even like months or years, but like, try not to let it go on for more than a year. That's for sure. Like, just, you know, try to like forgive yourself. Like, you already, like, it happened and you made a mistake, whatever it was. Like, if you hurt somebody, you know, if you feel like you need to ask for forgiveness for them or anything, like do it. And even if it's your ego, like, no, don't do it. Like, because ego will get to you, but just, you know, just let it go. And even if you think you look dumb or if you think, you know, I had to do a couple of things that I felt like I don't want to say sorry or like I don't, you know, like my ego was like, no, Diana, like don't. But I did, you know, and at the end of the day, like that person was really like, maybe, oh yeah, she said sorry to me, you know, he was like whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I did, you know, because I am sorry and like I forgive myself and then that's it. Like that's all I need and I felt better about it. And you know, it'll come back time to time, but like I said, just every time it comes back, just remember that you're basically bringing those feelings back and you're just going to start reliving everything again, and you don't want to do that to yourself. Like just let go of those feelings.
Yeah, y eso que dijiste, forgiving yourself, that is also like, I think that's like the first thing that you need to do. It's important for you to forgive yourself first. That's like you're really gonna thank yourself later once you already do that. Porque you can't really live a happy life or a joyful life if you're still like mad that you said yes to a certain someone, or you know, or you're still mad that you messed up something, you know, like we all make mistakes, so it's okay, you know, like a lo mejor the younger you did some crazy stuff that you are not happy about now.
Oh yes, girl.
But you know, like yeah, but like just forgive her, you know, like it's okay. Forgive and move on, forgive and let go. It's super important. I learned it the hard way. like it's just the best thing you can do. Like once you already start this new journey of like becoming a new you and like chasing after your dreams, it's possible to make dreams come true. But if you really want to enjoy them and if you really want to feel happy and fulfilled, you need to make sure that whatever was in your past, you've already forgiven. You've forgiven yourself. Like it's the simplest things, the simpler things that you can do to make yourself feel better. You don't have to like do some big ritual or like big event of like energy or like only positive people, you know, come in here. Like if not, my energy's gonna mess up, you know. It's like, no, like it's really just you're the answer to your problems. Exactly. Like what are you doing, what are you saying, what are you thinking, how are you feeling? And yeah, it's like the power is in you. So make sure that you forgive yourself. That's a big thing, and it will literally like set you free, you know, from
that's
hurt and all of that.
Yeah, like I've actually like had a big slap in the face, and I'm gonna share this with you guys so you guys know we're being like 100% open. But like I used to be like this person, like, okay, you know, I'm a positive person, and I thought I was like like really positive, and like my energy was like good, and like I had like whatever, because you vibrate at a certain frequency, and if you guys are like, or everything that is like here has a frequency, like even if it's just standing still, like it has like frequency. If you look down like through a microscope, you'll see that it's moving. So everything's moving, everything has energy, like whatever. So even like, let's say when you walk into like a place and then you see somebody, you're like, oh, there's something about her that I don't like. Or like there's something about her, like I don't even know her, or like, and not to be judgmental, but like there's something about that person that is just not there. So it's because you guys don't have the same energy. Like maybe either your energy is low and her energy is like up here, or it's the opposite. So like that's what I realized a lot. Like if you see someone, you're like, oh, there's something about it, but no sé qué es. Like I can't put my finger on it. That's what it is most of the time, that you guys are not vibrating at the same frequency. So you guys are kind of like weird. But like what I noticed is that I thought I was like this really like always vibrating and like on a higher frequency and like this and that. I read books and this and that. But like when I caught myself, like and I don't even know how it happened, but like I just remember being at work one day and like I felt like the environment was like so heavy, and like I was like, what is going on? Like I came and I had like this really like good day, like good morning, and like I did my yoga and like I meditated and like I felt like amazing. But then once I got to work, I was like, ugh, like I don't want to be here. So once I had like that mindset on, like I was like, oh, I don't want to be here, and like my energy went like down from like up here. So as soon as I walked in, even if I thought I was okay, like people were like, oh, what's wrong with her? Like there's something wrong with her. So my energy was not high, my energy was already low, and like people were like, okay, my coworkers were like, what's wrong with her, But then me, I'm like thinking that I was okay because I had a good morning, but then now I'm like, oh, the energy here is bad. But then in reality, it's like, no, I brought that energy in here, So like, that's one of the things that I like, it was like a slap on the face for me. Like, no, girl, like you were doing good. And then you let your mindset, like, because your mindset will switch on you fast, like super fast. So I let it get to me, and I let it get to like, oh, I don't want to be here. And that was just like negative already. So once you get on it's like a snowball effect. You get on a negative thought, and then it's just going to keep getting negative and negative. So that's how I was. And then now I'm like, okay, I don't want to be here. And then like, oh, this happened. Oh, I forgot this. Or like, oh, now I have this. So it was like, even just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, it's negative.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you are that person that is like helping people get up higher, like in their vibrations, or like, even if you feel yourself like getting lower, and like kind of like, just like what I do is like, I like stretch, or like I clap, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like snap out of it. Like, so I'm so like, and it's funny because sometimes I do it at work. I'm like, and I clap, and everyone's like, okay, what's she doing? But I'm like, no, like snap out of it, like get out of it. So just make sure that you're not that person. Like that was, like I said, it was a slap on the face for me, and I'm like, ew, I don't want to be that person. Like I don't want to be the negative one. I don't want to be like the one that's like bringing everyone down. I don't like. No. So that's not what I stand for, and that's not like what Insightfulbabes stand for. Like my friends are not like that. Like Maria's not like that. Why am I going to be like that? So yeah, for sure. Like evaluate yourself and like forgive yourself. Don't be like, oh, I was being so negative, and like, oh, I wasn't hard on myself about it, but it just like it helped me switch my mindset to like, okay, yeah, like I forgive myself. Let's keep going.
Yeah. No, and that's very, very true. Mindset is everything, like literally. And I know we've said this a lot, but it is. So if you're already like thinking negative porque January was a crazy month for you, don't let it stay that way. Change it. Shift your mindset.
You got this.
Something positive. And like you guys already know, we're here to help. We're here to motivate and inspire as much as we can. So if you like ever needs some help with anything, let us know. Maybe we can help out somehow. But again, we're here sharing our journey. We're here sharing our experiences with life, with entrepreneurship. And God knows how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur and just get out of the whole traditional way like of doing things.
Yeah.
But we remain focused.
Especially when you're like in between, you know, like I'm in between that right now. Like I'm still working like a traditional job, and like I'm still trying to do I'm still doing my entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah.
So it's hard, you know, it really is, but you could do it. Like I'm not the first person. I'm sure I won't be the last. Like it's possible. Like you totally got this.
Yeah. What would be like one of the main things you still struggle with, Diana? Because you like Diana works still like in the whole traditional like job and all of that. So I'm more of like an entrepreneur full time. So I guess that this is what makes this interesting, because Diana is have an entrepreneur but still have traditional work. Yaka just entrepreneur full time. But what are like the main thing that you still struggle with?
Honestly, it's like your energy and your time. Because I feel like I say, I do really good at work, and like I give it my all, and like I lose my energy, like not lose my energy, but I do. Like I give it my all, so I'm like I get tired, and then I come home and I have like these big plans. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this when I get home. Like I'm gonna work on this and this and that. But then once you get home, you're like so tired from work, like you just want to literally like relax. And I think that's what is. I don't want to say it's wrong, but I think that's why so many of us fall into that like cycle, because you just want to get home and unwind. So what do? You start watching TV, or you start just like playing games, or you know, drinking or whatever, just to relax. So then you just fall in that cycle of like you know, trying to to just chill out and like not work on your dreams. So it happened to me. Like it does happen to me, and even to this day sometimes I'm like I don't want to do anything. Like I just want to like today is my day off, and I'm like I just want to like wake up late and not do anything. But like, well, how is that going to benefit me? You know, how am I like not going to take care of like my entrepreneurship and like I like these dreams that I really really want to live out, you know, and I know what like God has for me. So that's one of the things that I struggle with the most, like my energy and like the time. You know, sometimes your work schedule might be a little difficult. Like it's crazy because I'm in a traditional job, but like I don't have a 9 to 5. Like if it was a 9 to 5, I think it would be a little bit more easier to have like a good like set schedule. But my schedule is kind of like all over the place. Some days I work in the morning, some days I work in the afternoon. So I don't have like a set schedule. So I think that's also something that could kind of be hard for you. But just literally like what has helped me is just planning my days. Like, and I haven't, like January was so crazy. So I know I did some planning, but not like, because I knew I was like, this is just a crazy month already. I could feel it. But even just like planning, like, and like having somebody to be there, like telling you like, hey, you said you were gonna do this, you know, and like kind of calling you out. Like Eddie calls me out a lot. Like he's really like, hey, you said you were gonna do this. Like what happened? Like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right, you know. And Maria too, like she's like, hey, you know, like always calling me out. Like, and it's not bad. Like I know they do it because they know that I could do more with my life. Like they know, they see that in me, and sometimes I don't see it in myself, which is good to have people like that in your life. So I think that's one of the things that I do struggle with the most, but I can say I'm getting better, and I know that I'm going to get better with time. So I just, like you say, you know, forgive yourself and then just do better tomorrow. Like do better today, do better tomorrow. Like just keep going and going.
Yeah. And I believe like that in any like career, any lifestyle, like one of the main things is to also have the right people with you.
Yeah.
That is like super important. So make sure that you have the right people with you. I was just thinking, you're wondering why you think a certain way, like you always, you know, you're hyped up about something, next thing you know, you're already like all negative about that stuff. And it happens because you're probably hanging out with the wrong people. And I know, like, for me, that was like very difficult to do, like to just say goodbye to the people that weren't really like they weren't putting any value into my life or anything that would motivate me to keep on going to after like what I wanted. So that was very difficult for me, because you're talking about long friendships, you know. A veces en que tenemos amistades desde que tenías 4 years old, you know, like that much of a big friendship. So whenever you have to like decide to do something for yourself, and you know that you have to let go of this person because they just haven't been helping you at all, it's hard and it's difficult. And for me, it was difficult to just let go of a lot of people, and God knows how many people I let go of. But I see how far I've come, you know, like I see how I decided to do something that was right. And it was really right, because now I see myself and I just think, oh my God, like if Maria back then wouldn't have said bye to all of the people she was hanging out with, Maria wouldn't be who she is now, you know? So I don't know. I'm just like, that's like very, like it makes me happy to know that I decided to do the right thing. And I'm sure you also said goodbye to certain people.
Yes.
No.
No, they're all in my life right now. They're all listening to you. No, definitely, dude. Oh my gosh. I had like so many, I'm doing like the little bunny ears right now. So you can't see me. I had so many friends and so many like people that, but in reality they weren't, you know, and that's okay. Like people serve a season in your life, like for a reason, and they teach you whatever you need to learn. So that's why, I mean, they taught me something, and I could say literally every person that I don't talk to anymore, I could say, oh, that's why they were in my life, or that's why that happened, you know. So and I'm sure you could say the same thing too, like so that's okay.
Yeah. And what advice could we give those people who know that they need to say goodbye to certain people but they still can't?
I would say like, don't be so cutthroat. Like sometimes, you know, it's hard to say bye to people because you're like, okay, you know, we go from hanging out every day or like whatever. But just like distance yourself for a little bit. You'll know who your real friends are if you start like distancing yourself. They're gonna ask like, hey, are you okay? Or like, you know, like, hey, or something like. But if they just let you go, then you know, okay, you know what, that was not my friend, or like, you know, maybe I wasn't supposed to be in their life any longer. But honestly, time will do it for you as well. Like time will do it. Like you'll start outgrowing people. And like I remember I thought I had these friends and I was like, no, I'm always gonna be their friends. Like I'm always gonna be doing this and like hanging out with them, whatever. But once you grow up and you start outgrowing, it's like I said, like you're gonna be in a different like vibrational, like just frequency. So you're gonna be like at a higher frequency and they're gonna be down here. So you're gonna be like up here, and everything that's up there on that frequency is going to be in your life, and everything's going to be that's lower is going to be left behind. So I think over time eventually you'll just grow out of them, and they'll understand too. And sometimes they're going to be like, oh, she thinks I se cree mucho, you know, like, but who cares, because deep inside you know, like, no me creo mucho, I just know what's good for me and what's going to better me. So
and how do you know that you have outgrown people? And I think, like, you know, when you've outgrown people, when you start feeling like an outsider. Like, ya no tienen nada en común, you know, whoever it is you're hanging out with. You start feeling like you don't belong there anymore, and you start feeling like an outsider. Like, there's just, I can't, you know, like, I can't relate myself to them anymore. That's what happened to me. So I was like, what the hell? Like, they've been my friends forever, and now I feel this way. Like, why? But then I just, like, that was kind of like the answer of, hey, you need to just move on, you know? New friendships are coming for you, and you just need to accept that. And whenever you choose to be, like, to follow your dream, or to follow what you really want in life, there's a lot of changes. So you just have to be ready for them. You know, we're not saying this to scare you off from chasing your dreams. Porque al final, like, once you make that dream come true, it just, like, your happiness and the joy it brings, it can't be compared with anything. And I'm sure we've experienced that, Diana. And now with Insightfulbabes, like, you guys, we've been so happy to have all of the listeners that we have, and all of the followers, and all of you guys who've been, like, reaching out to us. Thank you. You guys like make our days so much better. And, you know, we're just, like, so happy and excited to be on this journey with you all, and to be able to share what we go through, and for you guys to, like, tell us that you guys can relate to certain things that we share. It's just great to know that we've been helping you guys and motivating you guys in certain ways. So thank you again for tuning in, and for handling us with our craziness.
Nuestras payasadas.
Sí, y luego también con nuestro Spanglish. Thank you so much.
Sí, I know.
A veces en que se me olvidan las palabras en inglés, and then I'm just like, Spanglish it is.
Spanish it will be.
Spanish, y luego me voy al English, y luego me voy al chino, porque ya...
Hold on. I'm just kidding.
Ya después se te olvidan los dos idiomas que sabes y ya, you're lost, dude. Has it ever happened?
Oh my gosh, yes, all the time.
Right?
All the time. I'm like, what am I even saying right now? Like, is that even a real world?
Yeah.
Real word?
Ya
¿Ves?
Nos pasa hasta aquí en el podcast.
See, a veces I feel bad because Eddie, like, I'll teach him some words in Spanish, and he's like, I'm like, oh, like buchar or something. He's like, babe, you better be teaching me good Spanish because I feel like you're just teaching me these Spanish words that are not even real. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm sorry.
Como el parquéate.
Ándale, parqueate.
Right? Which in reality it should be estacionate. No? Estacionarse. Yeah, Spanglish right here. Spanglish 101.
I know. We should teach a class.
With Diana and Maria. Yeah.
Oh,
But no, I mean, it makes me happy to know that we're not the only ones with the Spanglish, you know, like there's a lot of you guys who tune in and are like just so happy that we're sharing our Spanglish vocabulary.
Yes.
But again, guys, like if you're listening to us right now, we want you guys to know that you're capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. Don't give up. Stay positive. Stay reaching for your goals, your dreams. You're always going to find the right people. The right people will always find you. Those connections are right there for you. You will literally get those connections that you need to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. It has happened for us. We've already shared it and how we made it possible. You just have to follow your passion. And, you know, if it's difficult for you because of your lifestyle that you're currently in, don't believe that that's like literally the end of your life. You know, that's how it's going to be, because there's always time for change. And it's never too late. I mean, we already saw J-Lo and Shakira.
I know, right?
Right? Like, they're already, in their 40s, 50s? Well, J-Lo, I think, is 50, right?
50, yeah. I don't know.
And then Shakira's, like, in her 40s, and they're already moms, and they're still doing their thing. So, you know, there's no excuse. You can make it happen. Thank you guys for tuning in to our Insightful Babes podcast. Make sure to stay tuned for a new episode every week.